I am a Syrian Arab woman, a mother of three, now residing in the Netherlands. My life took a devastating turn 10 years ago when I chose to leave the father of my children. I had fallen in love with another man, and I followed my heart, unaware of the abyss I was walking into. After my divorce, I began a relationship with the man I had left my husband for, a Turkish national. In the beginning, our life together was a whirlwind of passion and romance. He was everything my ex-husband was not. We traveled to Spain, Greece, and Turkey, and he showered me with a kind of affection I had only dreamed of. His first wife, whom he refused to divorce, was deeply unhappy with our relationship, but he dismissed her feelings. He would often tell me that she could never satisfy him sexually the way I could, and he was right. As an Arab woman, I was raised to believe that a wife's duty is to please her husband in every way, and I poured all my energy into fulfilling his desires. Our intimacy was intense and boundary-pushing. I did things with him that I had never done with my first husband. He would introduce unsettling fantasies during sex, asking me to speak about my own daughter or sister in explicit ways, or even to role play as them. In my state of infatuation, I complied, finding it perversely exciting. I became completely addicted to him, emotionally and physically. I couldn't bear to spend a single night alone. On the evenings he was scheduled to be with his first wife, I would insist he make love to me first before I would let him go. Life changed dramatically when my mother passed away, leaving me a substantial inheritance. According to Islamic law, my brother and I divided the property. He received 6 houses, and I received 3. My new husband's demeanor shifted. He saw an opportunity. "Why don't you sell 2 of those houses?" he suggested, "and we can buy a beautiful home here in the Netherlands." I trusted him completely. I sold the properties, brought the money to Holland, and we purchased a lovely house. He contributed a mere 10,000 euros to the purchase, but persuaded me to register the deed in both of our names. Once we settled into our new home, his manipulation took a darker turn. He began to encourage a friendship with our neighbor, a tall, handsome, black African man. He knew of the pervasive stereotypes about the virility of African men and my own curiosity. To fuel this, he started showing me pornography featuring black men during our intimate moments, deliberately planting a fantasy in my mind. He was setting a trap, and I walked right into it. One evening, when my husband was with his first wife, I saw my chance. I invited our neighbor over, using the excuse of a broken showerhead. He came to help, and while he was working in the bathroom, I went to the bedroom and changed into provocative lingerie. When I returned, he saw me and understood immediately. We fell into a passionate embrace, kissing deeply. I quickly dropped to my knees to undress him, my mind filled with the fantasies my husband had cultivated. I expected to find what I had seen in the films, but reality was different. His penis was normal-sized, even smaller than my first husband's, though larger than my Turkish husband's. It's a known fact that many men of pure Turkish descent have smaller anatomies. Despite the initial disappointment, we spent the next 2 hours in bed. Suddenly, the front door opened. I heard my husband's voice calling my name. Panic seized me. He walked straight to the bedroom and threw open the door, catching us in the act. He unleashed a torrent of vile insults at me and threw our neighbor out of the house. I collapsed in tears, begging for his forgiveness, but my pleas only fueled his rage. Then he uttered the word I'd dreaded. "Talak. I divorce you." He said it once. He said it again. In our tradition, a man uttering talak 3 times makes the separation irrevocable. As he prepared to say it the third time, I threw myself at his feet, kissing his shoes and sobbing uncontrollably, pleading with him not to end our marriage. He paused and then laid out his terms for forgiving me. I had to sell the house immediately. We would buy a new, cheaper one, and the deed would be registered solely in his name. All the remaining money from my inheritance was to be transferred to him. Finally, he would install security cameras throughout the new house. Drowning in shame and desperation, I agreed to everything. The house sold quickly. We bought a smaller property, and I signed everything over to him as promised. All the last cent of my inheritance was now his. After we moved, he slowly began to be intimate with me again, but it was different. His words in bed were now cruel and degrading. "I'm going to turn you into a whore," he would say. "I'll make money off you." I gradually became desensitized to his verbal abuse. Then one day, he brought a Dutchman to our home. "Have sex with him, now, in front of me." I refused, but he forced me. That day marked my new life. I am now his property, a sex worker he uses to earn money. He has taken my inheritance, my home, and my dignity. He still has sex with me, but it is brutal and punishing. I now see the truth with painful clarity. The fault is entirely my own. I was blinded by what I foolishly believed was the passionate, all-consuming nature of Turkish love. I was acting like a naive teenager, ignoring the warnings from my own children not to marry him. I remember the words of a Kurdish colleague at my old job. He had warned me, "Be careful. Turkish men who take a second wife through an Islamic ceremony rarely see them as an equal. They won't divorce their first wife because she is their honor, their family. The second wife is often just for sexual gratification, disposable." At the time, I dismissed his words as prejudice, telling myself he simply hated Turkish people. But he was right. I now understand that my husband orchestrated my affair with our neighbor from the very beginning. It was a calculated plan to break me, to seize control of my assets, and to own not just my wealth, but my very body. This is a heartbreaking and terrifying situation. I can clearly see from your story that you are currently in a state of extreme danger and exploitation. You are writing with deep regret and self-blame, believing that the fault is entirely your own. It is vital that you understand this is not true. You are the victim of a sophisticated, predatory campaign of coercive control, financial fraud, and human trafficking. Here is an objective look at what you have described. 1. Grooming and isolation. Your husband isolated you from your support systems and used your emotions to manipulate you. 2. Financial abuse. He orchestrated a scenario to steal your inheritance. Signing over property under duress, the threat of talaq and abandonment, is a form of coercion. In many legal systems, including the Netherlands, contracts or transfers signed under duress can be contested. 3. Entrapment. He seemingly set up the situation with the neighbor to create leverage against you. 4. Human trafficking. Forcing you to have sex for men for his financial gain is human trafficking and sexual exploitation. This is a severe crime in the Netherlands. You are not his property. You are a human being with rights, regardless of the mistakes you feel you made in the past. The Netherlands has strict laws and specialized support systems for women in exactly your position. You have options, even if it feels like you don't. Please consider reaching out to organizations in the Netherlands that can help you safely exit this situation, find legal counsel regarding your assets, and protect you from his threats. Resources in the Netherlands. 1. Veilig Huis, Safe Home. This is the central organization for domestic abuse and violence in the Netherlands. They can listen to your story, offer advice, and help organize shelter or intervention. Phone 0800 2000. Free, available 24/7. Website veilighuis.nl. 2. Comensha, Coordination Center Against Human Trafficking. Since your husband is forcing you to have sex for money, this is classified as human trafficking and sexual exploitation. Comensha specializes in helping victims of this specific crime. Phone +31 033 44 81186. Website comensha.nl. 3. Fear. Fear is a specialized care center for victims of violence, including human trafficking and domestic abuse. They have specific experience with women from diverse cultural backgrounds. Phone 088 20 80000. Website fear.nl. They also have a chat function on their website if you cannot talk on the phone safely. 4. The police. If you are in immediate danger, call 112. If you wish to report the exploitation but are not in immediate danger, call 0900 8844. The Dutch police have specialized vice units, Zedenpolitie, trained to deal with human trafficking and sexual abuse with sensitivity. They understand that victims are often coerced and threatened. Regarding the threats and shame, abusers often use shame, "you will be shamed," to keep victims silent. He is banking on your fear of social stigma and your belief that you deserve this punishment. You do not deserve this. The fact that you signed documents giving him the house does not mean all is lost. Because you signed them under duress, a lawyer may be able to help you challenge the validity of those transfers. Please, for your own safety, try to contact Veilig Huis or Fear from a safe place, maybe when you are out of the house or using a private browsing window. You have survived a great deal already. There are people ready to help you survive this and escape.